Misumi Makoto is sent to another realm by the god Tsukuyomi to become a hero. Makoto is deemed too unattractive by the goddess of the other world and sent to her planet's Wasteland, which is populated with non-humans and creatures, with only the ability to understand all languages. Tsukuyomi steps in, saying that in Japan modern life limited Makoto's talents, but in the new world he is incredibly powerful and free to do whatever he wants. After 3 days of traversing the Wasteland, Makoto saves a young orc called Emma from a two-headed wolf monster, which he kills, understanding how powerful he has become. Emma adds that she was intended to be a sacrifice to the god Shen in order to clear the fog around her village and allow crops to flourish. Makoto learns to study magic when she brings him to her village. Makoto decides to defeat Shen, a gigantic dragon who creates illusions using fog. Shen catches Makoto in an illusion of a joyful memory, but after investigating his other memories, she is attracted by his recollections of Japan. Makoto breaks the illusion and is astonished when Shen offers to become his familiar in exchange for a contract. Makoto accepts, and they create a contract, with Shen morphing into a busty samurai girl, anticipating Makoto's future actions. Makoto discovers Shen's obsession with historical plays and samurai. She teleports Makoto to her parallel reality, which now resembles Japan's countryside. Makoto informs the orcs that he has vanquished Shen, who gives the orcs the opportunity to dwell in her dimension, which is now suitable for farming. Shen continues to study Makoto's memories while demanding that they figure out how to make a television on which she can keep his memories. Makoto decides to learn more about his parents, who, according to Tsukuyomi, were born in this planet before moving to Japan. Shen enters with a wounded dwarf, saying that their dimension is being assaulted by Black Disaster, a spider cursed with unending hunger and devouring everything. Makoto manages to totally destroy the spider but falls as it regenerates. Shen tries to interfere, but the spider says that the severe brutality has fulfilled its masochistic need and that she will remain with Makoto indefinitely. Shen advises that the spider create a contract with Makoto in order to achieve human form, and she agrees to Shen executing the ceremony despite Makoto's unconsciousness. Makoto awakens to see a fresh, equally busty female servant who gives him pause. Baron, an elder dwarf capable of manufacturing artifacts, is revealed to be the dwarf. Baron also transferred his hamlet to Shen's dimension. Makoto renames Shen Tomo after Tomo Gozen and names the spider Mio in response to Shen's request for a personal name. Makoto realizes that Tomo and Mio went recruiting while he was comatose, and his hamlet is now filled by orcs, dwarfs, mist lizards, and alk spiders. When Makoto returns to the normal world, he encounters a human settlement, which attacks him. Makoto's magical aura is so powerful, according to Tomo, that mankind most likely mistook him for a demon lord. Makoto studies the human language for months and has the dwarves create devices to control his aura. Tomo and Mio set records by being 4 times as powerful as the next strongest adventurer, but Makoto rates level 1, weaker than a kid, due to his repressed aura. Tomo discovers that a dragon she knew, Lancer, was killed by an adventurer called Sophia Bolga. Makoto finds that commodity prices are exceptionally high and that people have begun to follow them. Tomo is preparing to thwart a nocturnal attack on their wagon. A little girl approaches Makoto and Mio as they are shopping for groceries. Rinon, the girl, says that her sibling Toa has vanished. Tomo tackles the robbers, but accidentally kills 3 and captures a 4th. Rinon draws Toa, and Makoto deduces from the thief's recollections that their organization is holding her hostage and dispatches Mio and Tomo to rescue her. Makoto is disturbed because Toa resembles a girl he knew in Japan named Heisukawa. Mio and Tomo track down Toa and her kidnapper, the current strongest adventurer, Mills Ace. Rinon slips away and informs the thieves that Makoto's wagon was loaded with costly fruit but that he had already sold it. To settle Toa's obligations, the criminals require she take Makoto's gold. Nils, the thieves' covert commander, tells that a demon lord just reached the city and had a reward set on its head, so he wants Mio and Tomo to assist in the search, unaware that the demon lord was Makoto. Rinon thinks she can't take from Makoto after his kindness. Mio and Tomo beat Mills and his thieves, destroying a portion of the city in a race to see who can defeat the most opponents. Rinon reunites with Toa, who looks exactly like Heisukawa except for her hair color. Makoto applauds Mio and Tomo for saving Toa, but then forcefully blasts them back to the Wasteland to atone for killing the whole human city. Amo modifies everyone's memory so that the world believes Zetsuya was destroyed by a monster horde. Makoto must re-register in Saige, the nearest town, because Zetsuya's guild was destroyed. Makoto dupes Tomo into practicing alone in the bush as the rest of the hero's journey to Saige. Neo and Makoto slay several creatures for valuable components, including rare ruby eye ants. Makoto celebrates his re-registration in Saige with adventures Louisa the elf archer, Hazel the human alchemist, and Ranina the dwarf priest knight. Makoto chooses to sell the ruby eyes to the Rembrandt Trading Company, but Toa warns him that the Rembrandt Trading Company has a nasty reputation. Emma comments on their success when he returns to his village. The elk are settling in the mountains, the dwarves are erecting structures, the mist lizards are clearing farms, and the orcs are building Makoto a fortress. Makoto is concerned because Tomo has been missing for a long time. The dwarves offer Makoto a merchant's attire to further contain his aura, but his magic is too powerful and ruins the garment. Makoto finds that magical items cultivated on the demiplane are more effective than ordinary ingredients. Makoto visits Rembrandt and finds the management tough to work with. Patrick Rembrandt, the manager, is dismissive until he sees the ruby eyes and apologizes. He joyfully announces that the eyes create ambrosia, a cure for his afflicted wife and kids. Makoto goes to register as a merchant and easily passes the written exam because it is simple middle school math. The second test requires him to collect 4 deadly objects, but he uses a rule that allows him to substitute items of equivalent value and substitutes the ruby ants. Makoto returns to the demiplane, where he intends to set up a hidden portal to deceive traveling merchants into thinking the demiplane is a hidden city, trade for demiplane objects, and then return home, so generating a market for demiplane products. Mio is looking for Tomo. Makoto recognizes Mio's addiction to his recollections of anime and children's shows. When Makoto decides to sleep alone rather than with one of them, Tomo and Mio get perplexed and realize they must devise a seduction strategy. Hazel accepts to Makoto's plea to assist with the brewing of the ambrosia. An adventurer notices Makoto and resolves to assemble as many adventurers as possible in order to stop whatever Patrick is doing to Makoto. Patrick has the witch doctor who cursed his family assassinated in secret. The ambrosia is brewed by Hazel. Makoto successfully restrains Patrick's wife, Lisa, who has turned into a monster, and Patrick administers the ambrosia. They also treat Patrick's daughters using this approach. Makoto returns to Tomo and Mio, but they are assaulted by Lime Latte and his many supporters. Lime claims that after defeating all 200 enemies, he only wanted a sleeping curse placed on Lisa and her daughters as retaliation for Patrick preventing adventurers who displeased him from finding further work, many of whom died on quests too dangerous for them to handle, and that he has no idea why the witch doctor cursed them into monsters. Lime apologizes to Patrick, who agrees to let him live, and Lime stops traveling. Tomo, seeing in Lime's memories that he returns his salary to the orphanage where he grew up, gifts him with a katana fashioned by dwarves and recruits him to spy for her. Meanwhile, despite his thanks to Makoto, Patrick mulls about what to do regarding Makoto's new trade firm. When Emma returns to the demiplane, she notifies Makoto that yet another problem has developed. The warriors in Makoto's tribe are despondent after training, and Makoto realizes it is his fault since he overwhelms them so fully during training that they lose their self-confidence. He also recognizes that the diverse species do not work out together, so he organizes weekly tournaments to encourage them to strengthen themselves and each other. Makoto, Mio, and Tomo re-register as explorers and are immediately tasked with training a replacement for Lime Latte. Makoto picks Toa and wants Tomo to train her, but Tomo is disturbed since Toa looks like the girl from Japan and she believes Makoto misses his previous life. Tomo puts Toa and her crew through a rigorous training regimen before challenging them to destroy a nest of 108 monsters, showing them to be the strongest adventuring team. Makoto decides to harvest ambrosia flowers, which are devoured by ruby ants and make their eyes valuable. He also decides to rent store space from Patrick, who realizes Makoto wants to rent rather than buy since buying would draw the notice of the Tsaich Kingdom, which would require him to spy on Patrick, something Makoto does not want to do. Patrick offers to set up a business for Makoto in a neutral city that is not associated with any power. Makoto's trade enterprise is celebrated by the village with a feast. The kind tells that they have discovered ambrosia blossoms in the outside world, but have opted not to harvest any because they are guarded by elves. During archery practice, Mio and Tomo keep seeing Makoto die. When Makoto clears his thoughts to focus on the goal, he mistakenly merges with the surroundings and dies for a split second, which feels like suicide to Tomo and Mio. As a result, his mana has increased to god level. If this continues, the goddess who exiled him to the Wasteland will regard him as a rival and attempt to murder him. Makoto returns to the human world and is solicited by a prostitute, prompting the outraged Mio and Tomo to take him away. They proclaim that they are sick of waiting for him to mature and will have sex with him right away. Makoto becomes terrified and runs via a portal. The dwarves create stronger mana-suppressing equipment. Makoto invites Mio to assist him negotiate with the elves after she apologizes for her and Tomo's behavior. Other adventurers emerge to grab the flower, one of them is the prostitute, causing the elves to quickly attack. Makoto teleports the adventurers to the demiplane and then reconciles with the elves, Aqua and Eris. Makoto is introduced to Nilgistori and other elders. Adono, Nilgistori's son, is enraged that the barrier guarding the forest is eroding. Makoto encounters Mondo, Aqua and Eris's master, a formidable fighter. Mio fears Mondo is possessed and overhears a telepathic chat about demons between Adono and an unknown person. Later, a spirit escapes from Mondo's body and drains Adono's life, murdering him for mingling with demons. Makoto recognizes it as a lick and apprehends it. Tomo confesses that she was the dragon that built the barrier many years ago at Nilgistori's request. The lick says that he accidentally became a lick while attempting to become a Grant, a person who, like a god, may freely roam between different universes. Tomo confesses that he has it backwards. Grants aren't humans who can travel, but rather ordinary people who happen to travel and therefore acquire the title of Grant. Realizing he has squandered his entire life on an unachievable ambition, the lick gladly accepts Tomo's offer to make a contract with Makoto and teach him magic. The heroes make the decision to flee the demiplane. Making a pact transforms the lick from a skeleton into a young and lovely man. In the village, a magical explosion causes Tomo to fall. Makoto and Lick can heal the wounded. Makoto realizes that the explosion drove the link to the outer world open. Examining the prostitute's memory pieces, Makoto discovers that she and her companions attempted to steal magical goods, and when guards intervened, one of the rings containing Makoto's power detonated, killing Tomo's kid fragment and an orc. Makoto pursues and mercilessly murders the prostitute in retaliation. Following the funerals, Makoto learns from Lick, now known as Shiki, that he was able to see the prostitute's memories since memory seeing is one of Tomo's talents, indicating that they trust each other implicitly, albeit this makes Mio envious. Makoto has barriers built to keep any adventurers who visit the demiplane to trade isolated from the settlement. Makoto pays a visit to Patrick, who has arranged for Makoto to have a business in the neutral town of Rotsgard Academy. Makoto wants to attend the school in order to understand more about the universe, the goddess, and humanity. He takes just Shiki with him and offers Mio and Tomo some more memories as a present because he may be gone for a long time. The goddess unexpectedly locates Makoto and tampers with his teleportation, sending him to a distant battlefield where two demon warriors assault him and cut two of his fingers. The two expose themselves to be Sophia Bulger and Mitsurugi, the world's strongest adventurer and the superior dragon she got famous for allegedly killing. They say that they have joined the demon army in order to wipe all humanity. Makoto discards all of his mana-suppressing equipment, completely overpowering Mitsurugi with his magic and breaking Sophia's legendary sword. Makoto is able to teleport away, leaving Mitsurugi and Sophia alive and vowing vengeance. Patrick learns of the army's annihilation by a powerful wizard but is unaware that it was Makoto. Shiki feels the goddess used Makoto to kill the army and is keeping an eye on them. Neo gets enraged when Kamo refers to Makoto as Papa after Tomo admits she made another fragment named Kamo using Makoto's mana from a discarded ring. Makoto ultimately establishes a shop, which is an instant success, and discovers that the demon and human armies dealt significant damage to each other and that two more goddess-called heroes took part in the conflict after he teleports away. The community organizes a feast to commemorate Makoto's business, and he concludes his future looks bright. But the feast is disrupted by another fight between Mio and Tomo, forcing Makoto to reconsider his mind about his near future.